Some people just don't like dog training in general. They think that the correction collar is evil. They see the shock collar, they immediately think you're doing something wrong. Alexandra Friggi.
Adam Atkins.
We're here training Luna. She's a trained Tennessee brindle.
How old is she?
About a year old.
What behaviors cause you to reach out for dog training?
Severe anxiety, the anxiety causing mild protective possession, some aggression, and terrible on a leash, especially around large vehicles and any type of large sounds.
Or anything new.
What behavior does she exhibit?
Pulling, if she gets really scared, she'll go under you, trip your feet. If anyone comes to her crate, like another dog, she'll growl. You can't really take her into a store because she is just trying to wrap you in the leash. And her focus is definitely not on you when you need it to be. I've tried the famous clicker training. It works inside, but when she goes outside, all treats and clicker goes out the door. She won't pay
Loses complete
attention.
focus
Okay.
to everything that you say or you at all.
We tried the harness. She's really good at backing out of a harness. Pretty much everything you can think of, from very laid
Trying
back.
to drain her energy with more walks, trying to use puzzle toys to the best of our ability, trying to, drain as much energy as she has mentally and physically. At one point we were doing 4 walks a day, easily 2 miles each walk. It became excessive to a point where there's only so much you can wear a dog out before the dog just gains the energy back and becomes, normal routine for the dog.
Keep it there. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Stop. Don't even say sit. If she's not in the right position, step back with a no.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Praise. Don't hesitate on that praise.
That was gonna be my question. If she steps back like that, that's okay?
Yeah, she corrected herself.
Okay.
Yeah, she's behind you. Look who's in the leadership position.
Okay.
You. She's paying attention to you to even know where she's supposed to be, which means she's not worried about that chainsaw or blower or whatever that is. She could care less about that dog, right? The shotgun going on. She looked back, but she didn't get out of the heel position. All these are distractions she's working through. She's right next to a truck, which she was terrified of when we started, right? She's doing her thing. Yeah. So you see how all that comes together?
Yes.
You need all of that. Your motivation, your praise, because you're learning how to communicate.
Good situation too.
Yeah.
That was a really good one because it actually was where she needed to do what she was told
Exactly.
to get out of the way.
And she didn't fight you on it too much. Yeah. Once you said, no, this is what it's going to be, okay. And she's trusting. Let's do that garage.
This is when things get a bit crazy.
What's going to happen? What do you predict going to
She's
happen?
gonna freak out and she'll cross in front of me.
Okay. Let's see. Close the garage door. Praise that. Luna, stay.
Luna, stay.
Open the garage door. Motivate.
Come on. Come on right here.
Come on, let's go.
Come on, Luna.
There she is, praise. Close the garage door.
Good girl. Good girl.
That's right.
That is a dog whisperer.
Let me ask you about this e-collar. Are you punishing her, hurting her?
No, it's just a way to communicate with her. And once we understood that it was a tool in order to better communicate with her, it's not just us being evil and just shocking her when we want to. It's more of, and like you said, we use the vibrate more than often than anything, is the vibrate grabs her attention. And that's just like a phone vibrating, and it's not, there's no shock from that.
And we transitioned from the remote and the vibrate over to a voice command that was her way now of listening to us. Like, she learned to listen
To that
and
no
that
command.
is where we don't need to use it as much anymore.
That's right.
So we decided for the first time to take Luna to a public area other than a pet store. So we chose a local winery. And on the weekends they have live music, food trucks, lots of cars in the parking lot. So pretty much her worst nightmare. She's been doing really good in the car. She did great the entire way there. When we got her out, she was definitely nervous. She did struggle for the first bit of it because that loud music was new to her. So it was a bunch of new experiences that she's never seen before.
Yeah.
So she did do a little bit of pulling, and we did have trouble with heel on her. But once we got to a table, we were able to get her down into a sit and stay really well. She ignored kids. There were dogs barking. She was good. She only barked one time, and then we corrected it. No more barking.
There are people who walked by the table.
Yep. People had said, oh, there's a dog. There were kids running around. She completely ignored them. And then when we went to leave, we walked past the owner, and he invited us to his table and had us like sit down. And I'll admit I was a wreck because there was like 7 different people that we didn't know, and he wanted us to sit by all these people. So my biggest fear was that she was going to try to go under the table, try to go towards other people, and we put her down into a sit and stay, and she stayed there for an hour and a half while we talked and enjoyed. And everyone commented on how well she was, and she didn't mind the music. She just kind of mellowed out when she was in a down and stay. So
From live music
she was wagging her tail even. She was happy. Yeah, she was a happy dog. Super fast. But we've noticed that with that, she's been more affectionate towards us. It used to be when we first got her, and this is what was a game changer to me, was when we first got her, she tolerated us. But when we would try to pet her, she would not bite, but like nip, like play nip, like, no, I just don't want you touching me, She didn't really like pets. I told you that when I went to praise her, I almost had to force her to get that praise because she didn't want it. Now it's like I notice she wants attention. She wants affection.
She's looking for it.
She craves that praise.
That's right.
I mean, she loves it. So I tried chicken. I tried hot dogs. I tried little bits of cooked steak. I mean, like, I don't know how much higher. I could have probably given her a cow leg bone,
Right.
and she would have spit it and not wanted it.
Right.
So we tried everything.
Wasn't interested. That wasn't her language.
What about the people that say that your dog is only responding because it's fearful of getting the correction?
So if that were the case, the minute we take that collar off, she would be completely out of control.
Right.
And it's not. And it's made her, it's taken a very fearful and reactive dog that, I mean, she would have lived in a cage for the rest of her life. If other people would have had their way and had only done treat, behavior, reward. We know someone that's a few houses up that they have a rescue dog and they keep their dog in 24/7 because the dog is so fearful and so traumatized, and they've only tried treat training. So for her, it may seem like strict training to other people, but in the end, the dog gets to be more happy. She gets to do what she wants to do and work through her fears. And for me, to have a dog be able to go out and hike and live her life as a dog and enjoy dog things, that to me is worth it, is absolutely worth it.
What have you learned?
What we've learned, definitely that you have to communicate effectively, and if you can't communicate with the dog just basically does what it feels it should be doing. It won't respect you as a leader. It won't look to you, especially if they're scared. They just kind of do what they want to do because they don't trust that you're going to keep them safe And you learning to communicate with them is a way to tap in to some of that fear and anxiety and make them more calm to actually enjoy themselves. Where if you're freaking out and all over the place, that dog just feeds off of your energy, and it's basically this never-ending circle where you're nervous, she's nervous, which then feeds back to you, and it's just this terrible, terrible loop that just spirals out of control. And so when you calm down and you take a deep breath, and even if you have to reset how you're holding the leash, or step away from the distraction before you jump back in, it changes her behavior and your own behavior, where you can finally be in control and she cannot be a nervous wreck. So controlling your own emotions helps to make her more comfortable and safe and more effective in being receptive to commands.